Hello VC, I have an absolute haul here full of CDs and cassettes. CDs I brought from charity shops for like 10 for £1, some are 10 for £2, some are £1 each, or a little bit more than that. There's a few eBay purchases here, a few cassettes and things, DVDs, so I'm just going to try my best to go through it all. When I went to that record shop in Worthing a couple of weeks ago, it was that one that's really cluttered full of stuff. And I brought some cassettes and some CDs in there when I was in there last time, which I don't think I actually got to show on that video I did. I think I just sort of focused on vinyl. But I did pick up a few CDs and things. Picked up this Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers debut. It's just a variation I hadn't got. It's got the old MCA label on the spine, which I wanted to have. I'm collecting both the old and new series. I picked up this AC/DC Parage. I believe it's a 70s album, 78 I think it came out originally. Wasn't one I had. I have many other albums now, but this just wasn't one I had on CD, so glad to have it. Great track, Gone Shooting. What a great song. And yeah, that was $3.50. And also picked up a couple of cassettes. This James Millionaires, which you rarely ever see these days on cassette. That was $2.50, and this James Stutter for £3. So yeah. And on the subject of cassettes, picked up this AC/DC Highway to Hell. This is a DBX series cassette. It's basically a specialist recording, and I just wanted to give it a try, see how it sounded like, because I have a DBX encoded encoder, so I just sort of ran that through my cassette player and just to see what it sounded like. And it was a bit hit and miss, to be honest with you. The sound quality, it went from quite loud to quite, low in volume. I can understand why they say DBX suffers from breathing, because it was really quite noticeable, but I don't know if it's because it's a cassette or it's actually just sounds like that. I don't know, but I wasn't too impressed with the recording. But like I said, it could be the cassette, so it's hard to figure out what the problem is with that. But of course the music's fantastic, and it's a great album. Just it wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. It wasn't as good sounding as I thought it was going to be. About a week or so ago, I was asking someone about Gordon Lightfoot. I come across one of his songs on YouTube, which I quite liked. And he was an artist I didn't really have anything of at all, and I inquired about him, I think, on a live stream. I said, has anyone got any Gordon Lightfoot? And I don't think anyone said they had, and I was just out of curiosity, and so I ended up going on eBay and buying this album, Sundown. And would you believe it, about a week or so later I found out he passed away. Yeah, I think Rob Walker said I put the kiss of death on him by just mentioning his name. It's funny because that does seem to happen a lot to me for some reason. I don't know why. Yes. Anyway, I'm glad to have this album. There's got a couple of songs I really like of his actually on there, so glad to have that. I can't remember what that cost. It was an eBay find. A few charities here. Picked this Elton John Greatest Hits One Night Only for £1. It's on DVD, of course. £1. So that was alright. I was quite shocked to see this Beatles box set. You don't seem to see Beatles box sets in charity shops. This was, and it was reasonably priced for £4. And of course, it's got 4 of their albums in there. It doesn't really look hardly played at all. Of course, Sgt. Pepper being one of them. These are all 2009 reissues, which they did at that time. I can't believe it's so long ago now, 2009. I mean, to me, these look like new to me. You know, as good as new. And of course, Beatles Abbey Road as well. So yeah, very reasonably priced, £4. I mean, you know, can't really argue with that. And it's got this the inner sleeve as well. So yeah, that's cool to have. I thought that's quite a nice find for £4. So yeah, very cool. Picked up a single, Gabrielle Dreams. I picked this up for £1 in a charity shop. Because I'm collecting singles again. This M People Bizarre Fruit £1. I don't think I had this one. I think I have a few other of their albums, but not this one. So glad to have that one. An album by the Editors, In This Light and On This Evening. It wasn't one I had. This was £2. It's a double CD album. Carpenters, Love Lines. This was £1. And we have Paul Weller, Wild Wood. This too was £1. I have a few of Paul's, but not that one. And Michael Bolton, Timeless Classics. This too was £1. So that's all my pounds. I brought a job lot of James on cassettes, and I brought a little job lot of James albums on CD. I'm trying to complete certain discographies, and James is one of them I'd like to have on CD and cassettes. So yeah, in the lot I picked up. James Millionaires as a second copy I got. That came in with a lot of other albums such as Gold Mother, and Seven, and a rare one, One Man Clapping, was in there as well. This can go quite a bit of money, like £25 or something like that, maybe more, maybe even 50 quid. Sellers selling this cassette, and I just bought this job lot for about a tenner. So yeah, it's a nice little bargain. I picked up a couple of James's later albums on cassette. These are brand new, sealed. These are like £3.50 each on an auction. I thought that's great value for money. So I've got James Living in Extraordinary Times, and I have James Girl at the End of the World, which is cool. So yeah, like £3.50, what a bargain. And as for the actual albums on CD, I have Strip Mine, which I think was their second album. Gold Mother, I think was one from the early 90s. James Laid, which I think came out in the mid-90s. No, 93. Laid came out in 93. James the Best Of. James Whiplash. We have Seven. The debut Stutter. There's quite a few there I didn't have. And we've got some singles as well, which was just thrown into the lot. Say Something, which is just a great song. Great song, Say Something. Tomorrow. She's a Star, Waltzing Along, and finally Wawa. So yeah, quite a lot of James there to be had. Lots of singles. Yeah, this lot was all like 10 for £1 and 10 for £2. In a couple of shops I went into were just selling stuff off really cheap. So I brought a load of albums and some singles, being that it was, you know, virtually for nothing. So yeah, singles. I brought this Take That, Back for Good. There's always been a nice song of theirs. I always like this song of Take That. I'm not a massive Take That fan or anything, but always like that song. I think it made #1 in the charts back in the mid-90s. And what else to pick up? Shania Twain, Man, I Feel Like a Woman. 100 Mile High City by Ocean Colour Scene. 3 Lions by Baddiel and Skinner and the Lightning Seeds. Remember this came out in 96. Robbie Williams, Angels Special Edition. Crucify by Tori Amos, great song of hers. Bit of Blur, presenting the Universal 2 live at the Beeb, or Beeb. So yeah, pick this Blur one up. Aerosmith, Hole in My Soul. And Hey Boy, Hey Girl by the Chemical Brothers. So yeah, cool to have those. And these are all albums. Well, mostly albums, if not a few compilations within the mix. These are all dirt cheap. NKOTB, Face the Music. Don't know anything of this. It's a bit of a blind buy. This had this like Stone Roses thing in there, which has got a couple of their CDs of theirs, the best of, and like a pirated album. I think it's the Second Coming, but I'm not sure. But I just thought that's good enough for the car, you know, providing that it works okay. Michael Jackson History, this double box set. Not sure if I got. I may have a copy of that, thinking about it. But I just wanted to make up the numbers for a lot of this stuff. The Bloodhound Gang, Hooray for Boobies. Not had this before. I've always liked the Bloodhound Gang. Finally get the album. Bon Jovi, These Days. Tasman Archer, Great Expectations. I don't think I've got this on CD, but I might be wrong, because I have a feeling I have something of hers on CD. Top Loader, Magic Hotel. I do have a Top Loader album, but I've never seen this one before, so glad to have that in the collection. A later Bangles album, which came out in 2003. I didn't know anything about this, and that is, if I can read it, Doll Revolution, I think it's called. So yeah, this is a nice little find, bit of a surprise find by the Bangles. This Radio 1 #1s, 32 #1 singles from 67 to 1988, which they did back in the day. Has all these #1s on the back, so very cool to have. Idleworld. This is an album which slipped past me, because I remember buying one of their albums, but must have slipped through the net, this one, and that's Hope is Important. So yes, have this one to add to the Idleworld collection. A few soundtracks, which is quite cool to find. You don't seem to find many decent soundtracks like this. The Rocky Story, you never see this in charity shops. So yeah, it's all the hit songs of the earlier Rocky movies on the back there, such as Eye of the Tiger, Burning Heart, Living in America, No Easy Way Out, Hearts on Fire, Gonna Fly Now, and other instrumental bits and pieces. So yeah, I've been after a copy of that for years. Finally come across it. Matrix Revolutions soundtrack. So yeah, I think I have the first Matrix album on soundtrack on CD, but nothing afterwards. So yeah, this is Matrix Revolutions. I think that was the third movie, wasn't it? Revolutions. I can't remember now. This was a nice find. Back to the Future. Nice find for pence, and I think it's worth a few bob as well. So it's quite lucky to come across Back to the Future soundtrack. So very cool, and I think it's an original as well, 1985. So yeah, original album there. And Incubus, A Crow Left of the Murder. Don't know anything of this. This is a blind buy. It just looked interesting, and I needed to make numbers up to get these like for £1. Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers. Not particularly a fan of Lord of the Rings. I just sort of picked this CD out just to, like I said, make up the numbers. So yeah. Spare copy of Blur Leisure. I love Blur, and it's I don't mind picking a spare one up here and there of theirs, because this is, I think, one of the best albums, their debut, one of the best of their discography. She's So High, that's just a great song. Yeah, what a great song. A spare copy of Deacon Blue, Raintown. I just saw this old 80s CD in there, and I couldn't really leave it in there. It's just a classic to have, and it's an oldie as well. So you know, if anyone's going to look after it, it would be me. Another spare copy of Linkin Park, Hybrid Theory. This was a fantastic album when it came out in 2000. Was it 2000? It was either 2000 or 2001, but I think it was 2000. But yeah, what an album! It rocks. It absolutely rocks. Yeah, brilliant album. All the songs are great. If you like a bit of heavy rock, this is the one to get of theirs. Hybrid Theory, Linkin Park. Another Blur, just self-titled Blur. Hit songs: Beetle Bum, Song 2, and what else is on here? I think that's just the two. It could be another hit, but I can't quite see it. But yeah, that one, self-titled Blur. Elton John, Sleeping with the Past, an 80s album of his, which I hadn't got. It came out in 1989. Has the song Sacrifice. What a lovely song Sacrifice is. It's such a nice song. So yes, glad to have that. Frank Sinatra, can't resist a bit of Frank Sinatra, and this one is Our Love Affair, 20 swinging standard with the Tommy Dorsey Orchestra. If it's got Tommy Dorsey Orchestra, then I'm all in, because you know, at that particular time was brilliant for Frank Sinatra. So yeah, and you don't seem to see too many of Tommy Dorsey Orchestra music regarding Frank Sinatra. It's normally just like his solo work. This was a blind buy. New Kids on the Block, No More Games, the remix album. I've heard of New Kids on the Block, but I don't know too many of the songs. I just grabbed it, being that it's retro-y. Texas, White on Blonde. It's a bit scratched up, this case, but I just throw it in there. Hit song on here, Black Eyed Boy, of course, and Say What You Want. Say What You Want. What a great song that is. Such a nice song. And yeah, I think 5 UK top 10 hits, including Say What You Want, Halo, Black Eyed Boy, Put Your Arms Around Me, Insane. So yeah, 5 hits on this album. It was a big album for them. classic Eric Clapton album, Slow Hand. Finally picked it up on CD. The album came out in 1977, so classic one there. Blink-182, one of my favourite punk rock bands. Greatest hits. So yeah, spare copy of this, one for the car. And finally, this Neil Diamond, I'm Glad You're Here With Me Tonight. This came out in the 70s, 1977, and yeah, I thought, why not pick that one up? So yeah, that is everything. There's a lot there, and yeah, phew, finally got through it. So yeah, now I can actually get this stuff on my shelves and rip it to my computer and do what I want to do with it. So yeah, that is all. Thanks for watching. I've got some more CDs coming. I'll be glad to show you what I got. And until then, take care. Bye for now. See you later. Bye for now.